Batman, on a level, you could be the greatest individual in football history.
We are back with another video. FPL season is here. I'll be honest, I've been changing my team non-stop for the last, 2 weeks. And I still ain't fully decided. But this is going to be my game week 1 team more than likely. But before we get started, make sure you guys like the video, comment your thoughts on my team and any tips you lot have. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you lot use the code scrolling through the bottom to join the league below. But let's get started. So in goal, I've gone with Ramsdale and Ward. Schmeichel's obviously left Leicester. I think there's been reports that Leicester might not sign another keeper. 4 million potential starter keeper for Leicester. You can't go wrong with Wood. I think everyone's probably going to have him. And Ramsdale, that's the other one. This is the one I'm not 100% sure on before game week 1 starts. Arsenal last year, they had a decent defense. I think they kept 13 clean sheets. I think only 4 or 5 teams had a better defensive record than them. Fixtures-wise, it's calm. I think the opening 5 games, they've got 2 newly promoted sides. And the way I look at it, I normally wildcard in the first 8 weeks. And I think Arsenal's opening 8 games are very good. And in pre-season, they've looked good. Beating Sevilla 6-0, beating Chelsea 4-0, kept a clean sheet against Everton as well 2-0. And I think overall, with the introduction of William Saliba coming back from his loan, Arsenal's defense has improved. Zinchenko at left back instead of maybe a Nuno Tavares, who we saw quite a lot last season. They should be calm. And an opening day fixture against Crystal Palace is not the easiest. But I think after that, they got Leicester, who, let's be honest, we're not 100% sure on because they still haven't made any signings by the time I'm recording this video. Bournemouth away, Fulham at home, and Villa at home. So that's not a bad run to start the season with. The next thing is the defense. Straight away, you can see I've gone with the defender strategy. It is a bit of a risk in terms of moving my money if I want it elsewhere, but I think I can do that relatively fine in my eyes, isn't it? I've gone with Reece James. I know that is a bit of a risk considering at Chelsea I played, but I think, listen, if Chelsea do bang, which there still is a possibility, people are writing them off too easily, Reece James is going to have a massive impact. And we saw what he did last year. Strikes the ball extremely well. He will get goal contribution from that area. The next one is Robertson, because I've seen there's a lot of like a Robertson-Diaz debate. I've gone with Robertson. I think he's a million cheaper. Consistency in terms of I know Robertson is going to play. I think Diaz will play quite a lot, but I think from what I've heard, I think Jota might be back in training in 2-3 weeks' time. Obviously, then he will need match fitness. Darwin Núñez can also play on the left. They have the possibility of playing Núñez on the left. We saw, if you're looking at his heat maps, even at Benfica, how he favours that left-hand side of the channel. Darwin Núñez could be on the left. They even got Fabio Carvalho on the left. So that is a possibility in terms of rotation, which I think could be the case. But I think, obviously, Robertson can get rotated with Shimikas. But you know the consistency levels you get with that Liverpool defence. Always top 2 in terms of clean sheets with Man City. Trent in your FPL team are doing it wrong. That's just my opinion straight away, because we even saw it in the Community Shield, bang, another goal. You know the impact he has going forward. You have to have Trent Alexander-Arnold in your team. And I think with Darwin Núñez signing, you've seen him slightly more inwards in certain games. Hey, listen, FPL point machine. That's all I'm saying with Trent. Cancelo's another interesting one because I've seen a lot of people go without the City defender. But I think with Cancelo, listen, at this point, they still haven't signed a left back. I know they're looking at the Anderlecht left back right now. He will start games. Opening fixtures. They've got West Ham away. That's a difficult fixture, let's be honest. Second game, though, Bournemouth at home. That should be a clean sheet. Then they have Newcastle, could be difficult. Palace, they could easily keep a clean sheet in that, even though we know their record against Palace is not the best. Then Forest after that, which should be another clean sheet. And we know what Cancelo can do going forward. He's definitely going to be my team. This is the one now in Ivan Perisic where I'm a bit unsure, because I've been thinking, do I go with Doherty or do I even go with Perisic? The only reason I'm slightly leaning towards Perisic right now, we know Tottenham like a crosser from out wide. Perisic is that. I know he didn't play the first 2 games for Tottenham in pre-season, but the only reason I brought him in, last week against Roma when they played, Perisic played 75 minutes, and that was with the strongest 11. So I think that's the biggest indication you can get that Perisic will be the starting wing-back for Tottenham on that left-hand side. And we know Perisic going forward, I think in terms of wing backs in Serie A / fullbacks, no one had more assists or no one had more goal contribution than Perisic. So he has to be in my team. Let's look at the midfield now. Midfield, listen, Salah speaks for itself. I think he started preseason well enough in my eyes. We know Salah, man. Like, if you don't have Salah in your FPL team, that's another one in my eyes. You're doing it wrong. Straight away, even in the game against City in the Community Shield, he looked good, got 3 goals and 1 assist so far in preseason. Martinelli, see, this is the one I'm thinking of that could potentially change in terms of if I bring in Sanchez in goal, I've got another 0.5 million spared up, which could be Martinelli to Rashford. But even then, I think I might prefer Martinelli. Martinelli has started the season very, very well with Arsenal again. As I said before, 1 goal, 4 assists so far in preseason. Could he be a bit more selfish at times? Yeah, like we even saw the goal that I think it was against Sevilla where he was basically 1-on-1 and he squared, he got the assist. But I think he will be fine. Like, for 6 million, you're not really going to go wrong. I think Smith Rowe might be out for the first game week. You know he's probably going to start the season strong for them. The next one is Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey, who would have thought I would have picked him for FPL? But in preseason, he's looked really, really good so far for Aston Villa. And this could be a bit of a rotation risk, but at 5 million, I will take that risk. I think Leon Bailey in preseason has got 3 goals, 1 assist. We even saw when he came on against United, a decently strong United side, he caused us a lot of problems. And I think this could be a big, big season for him, potentially, if Gerrard has more faith. But we also know Gerrard does favour that 2 up top at times. So how many minutes is Leon Bailey going to get? That could be a question mark. But I think I am willing to take that risk for him for now, especially around that price range. There's not too many people. And obviously with the back 5, my formation will be a 5-3-2. So Martinelli will be 1, Salah will be 1, then I can rotate Leon Bailey. And the next person I'm going to talk about is Pedro Neto. Because Pedro Neto's finally back from his long-term injury. Obviously played a couple games towards the end of last season. Pre-season, already 3 goals, 2 assists. You can't complain with how Pedro Neto settling in from his injury. And from what I've heard from Wolves fans, Wolves are playing a back 4. So, and we saw Bruno Lage, let's be honest, he's not. Last season, he kind of got away with playing a back 3, even though that's not his favoured formation. Now he's gone to a back 4. You should see potentially a more offensive Wolves side, and Pedro Neto will be one of the star men. And for what, 5.5 million? Rotating with Leon Bailey in my side, you cannot go wrong. Next one, Andres Pereira. I'll be honest, he's just a bench warmer. There's nothing really to talk about with Pereira. 4.5 could start. I think in preseason he's already got 2 assists, which is not too bad, but he's just there kind of thing, isn't it? He's just there. He's a bench warmer. And then the forward line, yes. The debate has... I've gone with Kane over Haaland. And I know a lot of people are going to be angry with this, but listen, I know what Kane can do in the Premier League. I got more certainty pre-season already. He's played more minutes than Haaland. Obviously, I think City have only had 2-3 pre-season games, which is a bit of a risk. He might start slower. Kane, pre-season, 5 goals, 1 assist. On penalties as well, I'd rather go with Kane. Especially for the start. Maybe obviously Haaland might have more upside in terms of if Haaland bangs. You know how good of a striker Haaland is. He's a very, very clinical player, but I'm just favouring Kane. And we don't know in terms of how Pep manages Haaland's minutes, because we know he does have a bit of an injury record, whereas Kane normally plays 30, 35 plus games every single season. I know Kane's record in the Premier League. I'm fine with it. With City, let's see in it, because you never know. Haaland could also rotate with Julian Alvarez, who has looked very, very good for them. So that could be a bit of a question mark over Haaland. But listen, if you're going with Haaland, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to go with Harry Kane for now. The next one, Gabriel Jesus. Hey, listen, who doesn't have Gabriel Jesus in the FPL team? That's another one in terms of if you probably don't have Gabriel Jesus right now and you're starting 11, you are doing it wrong, because Gabriel Jesus in preseason, 7 goals, 1 assist. Ridiculous return so far. Obviously, in the Premier League, that is going to go naturally down just because you're playing harder opposition. But for £8 million, starting striker at Arsenal, you're scoring goals. We know what you can do in the Premier League. Consistency in terms of he will probably get 10 plus goals at least. And Arsenal are creating chances for fun right now. Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka. They still got Fabio Vieira to bring into the mix. Zinchenko. Can obviously create from out wide. They've got Tierney coming back. Smith Rowe as well. So I'm really, really happy with Gabriel Jesus at that price when he's owned that much, which I think is, what's Gabriel Jesus' ownership right now? 74%. You have to have him in your team. And the next person, this is another bench warmer in terms of Archer from Villa. He's actually doing all right in pre-season, to be fair. I think he's got 4 goals so far. But there's not really much to say about him. He's just going to be on the bench for most game weeks. And that is it for the video. This is going to be my starting 11 for the first game. I will go with Leon Bailey over Pedro Neto just because Leon Bailey's facing Bournemouth, a newly promoted side. I think Pedro Neto has Leeds. Could work out the other way, but I'm going to go with Leon Bailey. And if he doesn't play, hopefully don't come on and Pedro Neto plays. But other than that, I probably will keep it as it is. Salah's obviously going to be captain against Fulham. Kane's going to be my vice. Obviously, they've got nice rotational fixtures in terms of I can switch captaincy. Defense, I'm relatively happy with. Perisic might change. Could be even Kieran Trippier coming in or maybe Kyle Walker. And I know a lot of people might say go get Edison in goal if you can save 0.5 million elsewhere. I have thought of that, but the only reason I'm avoiding that is if I do switch Kane to Haaland, which is a possibility, then I've already got 2 City players. Do I really want that third City player to be a goalkeeper? The answer is no, because you never know. Jack Grealish, for example, could bang this year. He's looked all right in, I think, the game against Bayern Munich. Obviously, against Liverpool, didn't look the best, but it was a difficult game in the Community Shield for them. And obviously, they're still a bit behind in terms of match fitness. So we still don't know what City asset might shine. But other than that, I'm relatively happy with this team, innit? Is it brave going with a back 5? Potentially, even though I do think the wing backs, that's where it is at. Shout out Coach Camps with the attacking fullback line. But that's it. The back 5 are all attacking fullbacks / wing backs. And I'm relatively happy with it. But anyway, listen, make sure you guys like the video. Comment your thoughts on my team. Subscribe to the channel. And make sure you guys join the league below. And I'll see you soon.